Hi, this is Caddy. This is my Artifact 2 project on Han Solo, a fictional outlier from the world of Star Wars. This is his picture from the classic scene where he shoots Greedo in the first Star Wars movie. So, for my thesis and overall argument, I said that Han Solo is modeled after some outlaws of the real world, having undergone periods of personal development and ending up as a force for good. His life can be modeled toward those in the real world because of the rawness and relatability of his emotions and reactions. Although the world of Star Wars is fictional, lessons can be taken from the stories of its inhabitants, with Han Solo's being a major one. And this is him when he's reaching the end of his life, where he's been through a lot and witnessed a lot of things. So, for his background, he was born on a planet in the Star Wars galaxy called Corellia, which is where a lot of ships are built. He grew up as an orphan, stealing food from the wealthy to stay alive. When he became an adult, he attempted to flee the planet with his then girlfriend Kira, but unfortunately, she was not able to make it off with him, and he joined the Imperial Army. But was disgusted by what he found in the Imperial Army with the Empire, so he rebelled and became a mercenary, beginning his status as a major outlaw, which he keeps until the end of his life. So we just mentioned his early life, but he becomes a mercenary freelancer, transporting spice, which is the Star Wars equivalent of drugs across the galaxy. He meets Luke Skywalker and Ben Kenobi in Tatooine, which is very eventful because then he becomes involved in a lot of Rebel Alliance tasks and marries Leia Organa, and later becomes father to Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, and he dies after being executed by his son at the end of his life. So this is a wanted poster of him. The reason for his outlaw status is he was part of a lot of groups and organizations with loose allegiance, and he was wanted by the Empire because he disbanded and he committed acts of terrorism. But he was also wanted by cartels and groups like that with underhanded dealings and underground organizations because he dropped his shipments and he was unreliable. So Jabba the Hutt, among others, wanted to kill him on numerous occasions. And throughout the galaxy, he was wanted with different sectors offering different amounts of money for capturing him. So here's a picture of Jabba the Hutt, and then there's a picture of Darth Vader representing the Imperials or the Empire. So he was a primary target after joining the Rebel Alliance of the Imperials. Darth Vader himself famously targeted the ship in the fifth movie of the Skywalker saga, the Empire Strikes Back, and soon after this, he was captured and frozen in carbonite in Jabba the Hutt's palace on Tatooine until he was broken out famously by his friends. So, positive contribution to society. He was mainly out for himself after losing his girlfriend whilst fleeing Corellia, but he befriended Chewbacca and then the rest of his friends along the course of his life, which really broadened his horizons and perspective onto his morals and things of the like. And he helped destroy both Death Stars, and he also saved Luke Skywalker on many occasions and prevented the Jedi from becoming extinct. And so he also helped in galaxy relief projects where he used his spice smuggling skills for good. So this is a picture of like the Rebel Alliance versus the Empire. So he was a pivotal member in the rebellion against the Empire. So just to give some context, the Empire assumed an autocratic reign over the galaxy, and many planets and star systems were being slaughtered by it without being able to uh, respond or fight back. So one planet called Alderaan, for example, was blown to atoms after being shot by the Death Star system. And by successfully helping to establish the New Republic, he helped save the entire galaxy from their rule. So here's a famous picture of him on Endor. He was a war hero and a successful smuggler, but he also had a bit of a cocky bravado for his like exoskeleton, what he portrayed to people, where he was very full of himself and cocky, but underneath that, he was also a good person who had good morals and really cared about certain people. He was a fast talker, but he was also a really good pilot, and he could do very dangerous missions, and he was reliable with those missions, and he was a successful smuggler, as evidenced earlier. So, overall importance without Han Solo, the fate of the galaxy would have been lost to the forces of evil. This is because he was involved in many canon events. Without his ship and the roles that it did, he would have gotten the Death Star plans to the rebels, and Luke would have been shot down or been killed on many occasions. And so there's so many different instances of Han Solo's importance in the canon events with almost every single thing he does. So connecting to the real world, He was a fictional character with many real world similarities. Just as many of the outlaws are told in our real perspectives nowadays. So he had some negative aspects. So in Han Solo's case, he wasn't by any means a perfect person, and he was involved in many underhanded dealings. But he also was positive in some aspects as well because he benefited society, especially toward the end of his life, where he affiliated with the Rebel Alliance, took down the Empire, and also sometimes helped those that were in oppressive situations. So, summary, he lived an eventful life, skirting danger at every corner. While originally out for himself, typical of an outlaw, he began to build relationships that changed his outlook on life and repaired the damage his childhood caused. He lived in constant danger of being captured and processed by authorities, whether it be governments like the Empire or syndicate underground crime organizations like Black Sun and the Huts. He inspired the lives of many, saving the galaxy multiple times before his demise at the hands of his son. Although critical of higher powers such as the Force, he had a strong moral code hidden under this tough exoskeleton of cocky self worth. Han Solo is proof that outlaws can make the world better, and in this case, galaxy, whether real or fictional. And here are my citations. Thank you.